If you've been following the Ravens this season, you know it's been a roller coaster, but there's reason to believe this team can turn things around. They've got the talent, the coaching, and perhaps most importantly, a quarterback in Lamar Jackson who can change a game in an instant. The expectations are high, and every week counts. It's all about showing up on game day and performing. No shortcuts, no excuses. The schedule ahead offers opportunities to get on a winning streak, but the Ravens have to execute. And that's easier said than done in a league where every Sunday can bring a new challenge. One thing is clear. When the pieces click, this team has the ability to compete at the highest level. A lot of the off-season and early season chatter centered around player moves, and one of the more talked about shifts was Jaire Alexander heading to the Philadelphia Eagles. For Ravens fans, that one stings a little because Alexander was a player people had been rooting to see in Baltimore for years. Injuries, limited snaps, and the fit within the team's evolving defensive strategy all played a role in how his time here unfolded. He had a rough patch with an injury in training camp and struggled to find consistent playing time afterward. By the time the team was ready to see what he could do on the field, the lineup had already taken shape, and younger players had begun to carve out their spots. Alexander's comments after joining Philadelphia painted a picture of a player ready to move forward, energized about a fresh start, and confident in his health. He clarified that it wasn't about his physical readiness. He felt good and eager to contribute. But for Baltimore, the decision was less about his potential and more about timing, depth, and the specific needs of the roster in a season where every game felt crucial. The Ravens had shifted toward a three-safety alignment, which inherently limited opportunities for corners like Alexander. With Chidobe Awuzie, Marlon Humphrey, and Nate Wiggins entrenched on the depth chart, there wasn't room for him to get consistent snaps. The choice wasn't necessarily a judgment on talent, it was strategic. Teams have to balance special teams value, positional flexibility, and immediate game impact, and in this case, Alexander became the odd man out. Even if he had the talent to challenge some of the current starters, the reality is that the team's configuration and the urgency of each game left little room for experimentation. Looking back, it's understandable why Baltimore made the move they did. The knee injury that hampered him early on didn't define his ability, but the timing of it, combined with the team's needs, shaped the outcome. What makes this situation fascinating is watching how Alexander transitions in Philadelphia. The system, the coaching philosophy, and the available playing time could all align to showcase the type of player fans hope to see in Baltimore. There's always a lingering question for fans when a former player finds success elsewhere. Could we have done more? But for the Ravens, confidence in the current roster appears strong. TJ Tampa, Awuzie, and the other defensive backs are holding their own, and the depth has been tested without catastrophic results so far. The defensive unit has had to adapt mid-season, particularly with injuries affecting key corners, and yet the team has found ways to maintain performance. Alexander's departure may feel like a missed opportunity, but the structure in place ensures that the Ravens are not left vulnerable. Turning attention to the offensive side, the line has been another storyline that has kept fans talking. There have been growing pains this season, with inconsistency at guard and injuries impacting key starters. Daniel Fale, Ronnie Stanley, and Roger Rosnard have all faced moments where their performance or availability raised concerns. The run game and pass protection have both shown weaknesses, sometimes leaving Lamar Jackson exposed or forcing adjustments in play calling. Amidst that turbulence, one of the more intriguing developments has been Emory Jones. Drafted with hope but hindered by a shoulder issue that prevented a full rookie training camp, Jones is finally practicing again and showing promise. The coaching staff is experimenting with him across positions to see where he fits best. Understanding that live game experience is the true test. While it's unlikely he'll immediately start at tackle, the guard spots could present an opportunity, especially if the current players continue to struggle or face injury. The excitement around Jones isn't just about filling a spot. It's about injecting energy and potential into a line that has struggled with consistency. His work ethic, toughness, and readiness to embrace the challenge are exactly what the Ravens need as they navigate the rest of the season. Even a small spark from a player like him can have ripple effects, stabilizing the offensive line and giving Lamar the protection he needs to make plays. The past seasons have shown how critical depth and resilience are, and Jones embodies the kind of addition that could shift dynamics subtly but meaningfully. Watching him get live reps, see how he adjusts to the speed of the NFL, and potentially earns a starting role is going to be one of the more interesting narratives to follow in the coming weeks. Balancing the evolving offensive line with defensive transitions like Alexander's trade, the Ravens' season has become a study in adaptation and timing. Injuries, young talent, and strategic alignments have all influenced the flow of the season. Success isn't guaranteed, but the elements are there. When the quarterback is elite, and there is talent on both sides of the ball, the opportunity to turn challenges into momentum exists. Each game is a chance to see whether the team's preparation and adaptability can overcome past setbacks. For fans, it's about watching not just the results, but how the team responds, how young players step into the spotlight, how veterans stabilize the unit, and how coaching decisions unfold in real time. As the Ravens move forward, the storylines are clear. Can the defensive backs maintain stability despite roster changes? Will Emory Jones or other offensive line adjustments provide the spark needed to elevate the running and passing game? And most importantly, can Lamar Jackson continue to be the engine that drives this team through adversity? The answers will unfold on the field, play by play, week by week, and that's where the real drama of the season lies. Every snap matters, every adjustment counts, and the Ravens have the tools to make something special happen if they can navigate the challenges with precision and determination. Looking ahead, the Ravens' upcoming matchup in Minnesota is shaping up to be one of those critical tests that could define the season. The Vikings have a roster that can pressure both sides of the ball, and it's going to take a perfect mix of execution, strategy, and resilience for Baltimore to walk out with a win. Every week in the NFL is a battle, but there are matchups where the smallest mistakes can have outsized consequences. For the Ravens, this game is not just about points on the board. It's about proving that they can handle adversity, adjust on the fly, and play the kind of disciplined football that keeps a playoff dream alive. Minnesota's defensive front is formidable, and that makes every snap in the trenches even more crucial. Lamar Jackson has the talent to navigate pressure, but he also needs reliable protection. That's why the offensive line story is more than just a subplot. It's a key part of whether this team can succeed. Injuries have forced the Ravens to shuffle players and explore new options, and now, with Emory Jones finally practicing at full speed, there's hope for stability. The coaching staff is weighing how to integrate him effectively, whether as a guard or elsewhere along the line. Live reps are the proving ground, and if Jones can adapt quickly, he could become a piece that changes how the offense functions. Every adjustment counts because Minnesota's defensive front won't allow errors to go unnoticed. Defensively, the Ravens face challenges as well. Losing Jaire Alexander to Philadelphia has left a gap in both depth and potential, though the current roster has proven it can step up when needed. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and Chidobe Awuzie have carried the cornerback responsibilities admirably, but the depth behind them is being tested. TJ Tampa and other young players are expected to contribute, and this is where coaching schemes will be key. Defensive coordinators in the league know how to exploit mismatches, so Baltimore's secondary must remain disciplined, communicate effectively, and avoid breakdowns that could swing momentum. The three-safety look that has dominated much of the season will likely be a strategic focus, balancing the need for coverage flexibility with the pressure of the opposing offense. The Vikings' offense is dynamic, and the Ravens will need to account for multiple threats. It's not just about covering the wide receivers. It's about anticipating the quarterback's reads, reacting to motion, and maintaining gap discipline against a rushing attack that can strike suddenly. The Ravens' ability to execute fundamentals, tackling, coverage rotations, and pressure at the line will define the pace and flow of the game. Every decision by the coaching staff, every call on the field, will have consequences that ripple throughout the game. For fans, it's a chance to see whether this team can translate preparation into results under real pressure. Special teams can't be overlooked either. In games like this, the difference between a win and a loss can come down to field position, coverage on returns, and kicking accuracy. Baltimore has been generally solid in these areas, but the margin for error is slim, and the Vikings will look to capitalize on anything less than perfection. This is where attention to detail and discipline become just as important as talent. Every snap, every alignment, every angle and coverage can influence the outcome, and the Ravens know it. Beyond the X's and O's, there's an emotional element that defines this team's journey. Lamar Jackson continues to carry the weight of leadership, but he's surrounded by teammates who are hungry to prove themselves. Younger players are getting opportunities they may not have expected at the start of the season, and veterans are working to stabilize the unit. Emory Jones, for example, represents a microcosm of this narrative. A player whose potential was delayed by injury, but who now has a chance to impact the game directly. Watching how he responds to live game speed, the communication with line mates, and his ability to adapt to defensive adjustments will be fascinating. The success of one player can sometimes ripple across the team, influencing confidence and cohesion. The Ravens' ability to adapt under pressure will be a central theme of this matchup. Whether it's adjusting to Minnesota's blitz packages, finding creative ways to exploit mismatches, or maintaining focus amid adversity, the team's preparation and mindset will be tested. Fans can expect to see calculated risk-taking combined with moments of improvisation from Lamar Jackson, who thrives when the unexpected happens. His ability to extend plays, create opportunities, and read defenses in real time is unmatched, but it requires teammates who can execute their assignments flawlessly. In many ways, this game is also a measure of how well the team has learned from past mistakes. Defensive lapses, offensive miscommunications, and inconsistent line play have all been themes of the season so far, and Minnesota presents a chance to demonstrate progress. Can the Ravens maintain discipline over 4 quarters? Can the offensive line hold against relentless pressure? Can the secondary limit big plays and force turnovers when needed? The answers to these questions will reveal how prepared this team is to make a run toward relevance in the playoff picture. Emory Jones' role, Alexander's absence, and the performance of younger defensive backs all feed into a larger narrative of growth and adaptation. Every snap matters, and every adjustment made by the coaching staff can shift momentum. Watching how these variables interact in a real game environment will be a highlight for fans, analysts, and anyone invested in the Ravens' trajectory. Beyond individual performance, this game is a test of cohesion, discipline, and the ability to execute under pressure. Ultimately, the Minnesota matchup is more than just another game. It's a litmus test. It will reveal how the Ravens manage adversity, adapt on the fly, and leverage both veteran experience and emerging talent. The outcome won't be determined by a single player, but by how the team functions as a whole under the microscope of a tough opponent. Lamar Jackson remains the engine, but success will rely on contributions across the roster, from the offensive line to the defensive backs, from special teams to situational coaching decisions. As the team steps onto the field in Minnesota, the season's narrative will continue to unfold. Every decision, every snap, and every moment of execution contributes to the story. The Ravens have the talent, the coaching, and the determination to make a statement, but it will require focus, discipline, and a collective effort. Fans will be watching closely, anticipating moments of brilliance, adjustments, and the type of resilience that defines championship-level football. This is where potential meets opportunity, and where the Ravens' ability to respond under pressure will be on full display. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. In a move that has sent shockwaves through Baltimore and left the flock in stunned silence, Lamar Jackson, the electrifying quarterback and heart of the Ravens, reportedly announced that he is leaving the team. Sources close to the situation suggest that the decision comes after months of speculation about Jackson's future in Baltimore, sparking a frenzy of whispers across the NFL. Jackson, known for his unprecedented dual-threat capabilities and his uncanny ability to make defenders look foolish, has been the face of the Ravens since his rookie season. Fans have celebrated his record-breaking plays, his MVP season, and his leadership on and off the field. But now, uncertainty looms as the quarterback prepares to explore options beyond the city that has witnessed his rise to stardom. While official statements are scarce, insiders hint at tension between Jackson and the front office over contract negotiations and the team's direction. The rumor mill is already churning, with whispers of potential destinations ranging from established playoff contenders to teams desperate for a franchise quarterback. Analysts are debating whether Jackson's style fits in the more pass-heavy offenses across the league, or if he will remain loyal to a system built around his unique talents. The Ravens' faithful, notoriously loyal and vocal, have flooded social media with disbelief and speculation, creating a virtual storm of reactions. Some mourn the potential loss of the player who carried the team to multiple playoff appearances, while others wonder if a fresh start could elevate Jackson to new heights. NFL insiders suggest that whatever the outcome, this is not just a move. It's a seismic shift that could reshape the quarterback market and the balance of power in the league. As the days unfold, the sports world holds its breath. Lamar Jackson's departure, whether rumor or soon-to-be reality, signals the end of an era in Baltimore and the beginning of an electrifying chapter somewhere else. The flock may be stunned today, but the league is buzzing with anticipation for what comes next. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.